Hi, Josh.
Hi, Amanda. What are we talking about today?
I thought we would talk about a question that I get really frequently, which is someone comes in to see me and they say, Amanda, I wanted to leave my employer. I wanted to do the right thing by them. I gave them 2 weeks' notice. I was willing to stay on for the 2 weeks. And instead they say, no, thanks. And they showed me the door. Can I sue them for not keeping me employed and paying me for those 2 weeks? What do you think?
Yeah, probably not successfully. If you're an at-will employee, you don't have a right to your job. You can be terminated at any time for any reason or no reason at all. And your employer can terminate you because you've said you want to be somewhere else. Now, that doesn't seem fair. It seems like your employer should be thanking you for giving 2 weeks notice. You wanted to do the right thing. You wanted to give them the ability to transition. You wanted to finish up your assignments. You didn't want to leave them in the lurch. You were doing the right thing. They're not. But unfortunately, the law doesn't always do what's fair. And so in this situation where you give 2 weeks notice and your employer says, yeah, you're not going to be allowed to work those 2 weeks, I don't think you have any legal recourse. Not fair, but not illegal.
Let's change up the hypothetical a little bit. And let's say that this potential client was not an employee at will, and instead they had an employment contract that required them to give 6 months' notice to their employer if they decided they were going to leave. So this person goes to their employer and says, hey, I'm giving you my intent to resign. I'm giving you my 6 months' notice. And then the employer says, no, we're not paying you anything. You're out the door. Could that potential client sue their employer?
Yeah, I think so. Now, contract claims are always going to be based on the actual language of the contract. So we need to look at the contract, see what it says, see what it promises to either party. But assuming the contract looks like most do, and it simply says to the employee, hey, if you're going to leave, you've got to give us 6 months or 180 days notice, and you give that notice, you're complying with the intent of the contract. And then your employer tries not to allow you to work that notice, or more importantly, decides not to compensate you for that notice period. I think you've got a good claim for a breach of contract there and potentially some other associated claims. Maybe it's breach of the implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. There might be something else. But if you're in a situation where you have a contractual obligation to provide a notice period, and your employer doesn't let you work that notice period or doesn't compensate you for that notice period where you're doing everything you can to comply with your contractual obligations, then it's time to go talk with an employment lawyer.
Makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.